I've been wondering what drives people and what keeps people consistent in their journey. Is it the want and love for fancy things and a big reputation that drives them forward and keeps them disciplined and keeps them motivated? Or is it that they're thinking about something from the past that hurts them or that they're ashamed of that has that emotional imprint inside of them that keeps them going? Now, I could sit between me and myself, right? I could sit down and try to imagine both perspectives. And maybe for me it's different because I don't think manifesting and visualizing the future and visualizing the mansions or the cars or the hot women, I don't think that's enough of a drive for me to keep me consistent on a daily basis. Waking up 3 in the morning to achieve my goal. I don't think me visualizing something that I've never touched before or never been around is enough of a motivation or enough of of a powerhouse to drive me forward. On the other hand, at least for me, and maybe this is something you could think between you and yourself. On the other hand, I can imagine days that I was down, days that I felt shitty, days that I went through a lot, and I can remember those days, and me remembering those days is enough for me to move forward. It's enough for me to say, you know what? I'm about to get off of my ass right now and I'm about to get to work because I don't want those days to repeat itself. I think the majority of people, this is just my thought. I think the majority of people, that's what keeps them going. It's usually people that come from the bottom that have this crazy discipline and they have this crazy sense of proving themselves and keep on going. That other people that came from much gentler beginnings or well off beginnings, that they don't have that. And you might think to somebody, right? You might think and say to somebody, well, you made it. You got to where you wanted to be. So why do you need to keep on going? He might tell you that, oh, it's just that I'm already used to this, so I'm going to keep on going. But in reality, you don't really know what was the thing that was pushing him from the beginning. You don't know if that pain that kept him going is still within him. You know, you might have a person who's ashamed of their skin color and they try so hard to climb the corporate ladder and they made so much money and they made such a big social circle and they were approved by so many different classes of people that you would look at that person and you wouldn't even consider their skin color, but between them and themselves, they're still trying to prove themselves because they know or they're ashamed of their skin color and that was what was driving them the whole time. And to everybody else, they're blind to that fact. They're blind to the fact that, hey, your skin color isn't even a big deal. To everybody else, it's not a big deal. Nobody's even looking at that. But that's the burden that he carried, and that's the thing that was motivating him, and that was the thing he was ashamed of. So to him, it's just as real as life itself. So he keeps on going and keeps on going, and he reads too much into things. He reads too much into things people might say or people might do around him, and say, "Wow, it's because of my skin color. I need to go harder, and I need to prove myself even more." That's just a little example with the skin color thing. We never know. We never know with certain people what is it that drives them because not everybody's going to be honest. Somebody might have some sort of insufficiency in their bodies. Not to go into details, but the only way they can prove themselves is by overcompensating in other departments. And you look at them from the outside, they might be a handsome man, well built, everything, all the boxes check off, and you think to yourself, what is this guy still trying to prove? But there's something that you don't know about him. There's things that you might not know about him that he knows about himself that keeps him going. And he probably will never feel enough no matter how much he got. He probably will never feel enough. But That's what motivated him. That's what kept him going. And perhaps he might be willing to trade all of the materialistic things and all of the success that he has in his life. He might be willing to trade all of that for this one insufficiency that he has, or this one thing that he feels like he's missing in his life. He might be willing to trade all of that just for something that you might be taking for granted that you already have. So it's something to think about. I was thinking that it was just discipline. I was thinking it was just people being motivated and having the right habits. And of course, yes, that has its role in the formula. But when it's a winter day, negative 20 degrees outside, nobody wants to go to the gym. There's snow all outside. There's only few people that actually get up and go to the gym or go to work or go and follow their dreams. And I don't say it's because a person that's just trying to attain riches, he might want it that much and he might be able to force himself to get up and do that task. But I think more of the people that were going through pain or that had pain in their past and they never want to experience that pain again, I think those people have that powerhouse inside of them of energy that when they remember that memory, they're able to turn that energy into motion. Versus somebody that's never felt the riches before, never touched the riches before. They might just say, you know what, tomorrow I'll get to it when the weather is better. So, these were just thoughts of mine, reflection between me and myself, to remind myself that, number one, don't take things for granted because there's something that you have that other people might want and they'll pay anything in the world for it. Number two, just because people say they were motivated or they say that their success comes from A, B, C, and D, that might not be true. Number three, people might be shameful of the source of power or the source of energy and discipline that they have because it comes from a shameful place. If that makes sense to you guys. Like somebody might have this discipline or might have this energy or might have this motivation or might have this drive to do something because they have something shameful in their past or shameful between them and themselves that they feel like they need to prove themselves and overcompensate for. And when I say shameful, I'm not talking about as everybody's judging him or anything like that. It could be something that you like. I have skinny arms, right? I might feel ashamed that I have skinny arms, so I might overcompensate by learning how to sprint super fast or having extra stamina or having a nice car or whatever it is. That's what I mean by that. I don't mean that everybody's just looking at somebody and just shaming and bullying somebody. I just think between you and yourself, it's all subjective, you know? So that was today's video. Is just something light, you know? Be thankful for your blessings. Be thankful for the things you have and be thankful for the things that you don't have because you never know. Maybe you might have that one thing that you might think you want, but it'll be to your detriment. Like I always say, do the work. Do the work, especially when it's hard, and the magic that you're looking for is in the things you're avoiding. Peace.